just a moment. So this is our Rotary Club of Cultural Exchange Enthusiasts. Oh, gee, I'm still having trouble. I thought I'd fix that. Well, there we go. We have the annual fund that is in full force through the end of the year. Just want to remind everyone to make their annual donation. We have our butterfly service project update, and that is that we met on Monday, Lindy and Olga and Elke and I, and we have the final changes to the grant done. We're kind of coming up with kind of how this will all be operationalized. So excited about that. And then you probably subliminally already seen my good news. Okay, there we go. President-elect, this is my E-Club President-elect you weekly slide that I no longer have to do because Olga has agreed to be our president for next year. I'm super excited. I talked to her yesterday. She couldn't be on today's call or next week's call due to previous commitments. And I said, is it okay if I announce that she has agreed to be president-elect? I'm super excited and she will be great. Davidson Olga is originally from the Netherlands and now lives here in our state of Minnesota. So she kind of lives exchange in a way. She's here in a different culture from the one she grew up in. And so she'll make a great later beginning in July. Our E-Club members here in the US is $270 a year. And we have a friend of the club for $100 a year to help support a new Rotary Club if you are a Rotarian in another club. So I want to let everyone know that next week's speaker will be Ann McCarthy. Davidson Ann is one of our members, and she's going to speak to us on the Mississippi River. So it's sort of like us hearing about the Nile. Everyone has heard of the Nile. I assume that you have heard of Mississippi River as well as one of the great rivers of the world. So if you have some interest in seeing a presentation and feel like staying up late again next week, then please come back and join us. But this should be a really fun presentation. I'm looking forward to it. So, which brings us to our presentation today. Davidson Akhonya from Kenya, and where he lives in Kenya is right on kind of the Ugandan border. So in western Kenya, it is near the national park he'll tell us about that goes into both Kenya and Uganda. And I'm really eager to hear your presentation. So I'll stop sharing. And Davidson, you can start and just let me know when you want me to show your slides, your photos.
Okay, John. Okay, John, thank you. Thank you very much. I really feel honored to be your guest speaker today. And you'll excuse me because this is my very first time to do a presentation on Zoom.
Okay.
I'm right here in Africa, where technology is a strange world for us. We live a natural life. Okay. So maybe to begin with, this is my story of my engagement with Rotary. I first learned of Rotary on a visit to Europe. I visited Central Europe, that is in the year 2015, where I went to do a practicum at the Peace Museum in the city of Vienna. So when I was there for 5 weeks. Vienna is a very tourist city with people flocking in from all over the world. So there I met an American lady who spoke to me and said, Davidson, have you heard of Rotary? I said, no, I'm hearing for the first time. And she told me, would you like to join a Rotary club? I said, yes, because I like connecting. And she said, join Rotary. So when I came back to Kenya, I went around searching and seeking to find the nearest Rotary Club. So I found a Rotary Club in the locality, which was about 30 kilometers away from my home. I joined that Rotary Club. I began attending meetings there weekly for about 3 years. And 2 years ago, we were given a go-ahead to begin exploring doing a Rotary Club in my neighborhood. And so that's how I was able to talk to my neighbors and other people in my network, and we began a Rotary Club where I've been the charter president. It's called Rotary Club of Bungoma Elgon, that lies at the base of Mount Elgon. So my classification, I am a church leader, incidentally. I'm a minister with the Mennonite Church in Kenya. At some point, I felt the Lord leading me. As people in church, we very much use the word that the Lord leading or speaking to me to begin engaging with the larger community without religious connotations. So in the year 2013, I founded an NGO through which I work in the community, trying to improve the living conditions of people who are vulnerable and who are affected by adversities in life. So that's a little bit about me. So we can begin the slides. John? Yes.
There you go. Okay, let me go to the first. There we go.
Yeah, you'll be excusing me because I'm only using my cell phone, smartphone. I do not have a laptop, so my screen is a bit limited.
Yes, can you see the photo on your phone?
Not yet. Did it come?
Davidson, it's the first photo. It's of two young boys.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay, very good.
There it is. Right. Yes, in the Mount Elgon region of Kenya, and the Rotary responses. So that is the subject of my presentation. So our life is very natural. We draw water from
I wonder if the
the wells. So you can see here children, they're very parents, and so this is our life right here. Next slide, John.
let's see, maybe I can share and then do a quick share and then see if his audio comes back on. Davidson, I think we are losing you because of the internet connection. So I'll share a slide and then you can tell us about it, but then I'll take it back off, okay?
He can also shut his video off.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing.
If he shuts his video off, and then it'll limit the bandwidth quite a bit.
Okay, good. Yeah, the next slide, John.
And maybe if we take ourselves off a video as well, then it won't have it won't be trying to send all that over to Davidson either. Okay. Davidson.
Okay. On their heads, cutting it. Yes, John.
Go ahead.
Yes, good. Thank you, John. So far, so good. So this is a very natural life that we live here. The girls are carrying water from the stream. To do this, from matter of fact, they can be able to balance that water bucket on their head, even without holding it with their hands. And they enjoy this kind of life because this is how they grow up from childhood. Next slide, please, John. Okay, still the same girls, same children. And you can see our roads. Like when I was in Europe, I saw roads are tarmacked almost to the homesteads. Someone stepping out of their door, they step on a tarmac. But here we have a very, very small percentage of the roads which are tarmacked. Most of the roads are dusted, which become also impassable during rain season. The next slide, please, John.
Davidson, is this rainy season in this photo, or is this the dry season?
This is a dry season. This was a dry season.
So this is the dry season with the road, and then the road is much muddier during the rainy season. Okay, let's go with that.
It is dry city. Had not rained these days. There will be a lot of mud that makes it almost impossible. The next slide, John, of a donkey. I just saw you had of it. Yeah. Next slide, John. Fetch water on the donkeys. When you have a donkey in our neighborhood, in our village, it makes life
I think that we may be disconnected from Davidson. So I'm going to see if he comes back on.
Okay.
So I think it would be a very interesting presentation, but his internet is maybe a little bit limited.
I think he only has a couple of more slides left. So let's just take a look at him interacting with disabled children. Whoops. Jiggers infestation among children. Visiting mentally challenged children. Dropping his son Steve to school. Rotary Club officers meeting with the governmental official. I like that 7 areas of focus banner. That's cool.
He's logging back in now.
Okay. You guys are able to see the slides, right?
Yep.
For some reason, when I'm sharing, I've lost the little video icons.
All right. So it looks like Davidson's back.
Yes.
So
we can pick up, eh?
Yeah, I'm going to recommend that you turn your video off. I can do it for you, and that may limit the amount of bandwidth it's taking. So we'll be able to hear you better.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to shut your video off, and then hopefully we'll have a better connection.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
Just back up. Oh,
we'll be back on the donkey photo. You were talking about donkeys.
right, good. So this is a family going to fetch water using a donkey, and so that helps to ease the burden of fetching water on their heads if they have a donkey. The next slide, please, John. Yeah, this is me with children in the community. Part of my work through my church organization is we have an outreach to children from disadvantaged families and neighborhoods. So this is me just making the children feel welcome and feel love. Some of them are deserted; they have no, they are living with the single mothers, and when the mother goes working, she leaves the children on their own a great deal of the day. So I work, part of my work, I go around the community to embrace them and give them some warmth of and some and love. Next slide, please, John. This is me visiting a, a special school for children with several deformities. This is a special school for children with Down syndrome, where I just paid them a visit to have some good time with them. As a Christian, I feel it's good to connect with the less fortunate and extend the love of God to them. Next slide, John. And this is a child in the community. Our village, some families are invested with the jiggers. I do not know whether you have instances of jiggers in North America and wherever part of the world you are in, but here in Africa, some families and some communities have the problem of jiggers. So this child really touched me when I encountered him in the community, whereby I saw jiggers had eaten not only his legs but also his hands. This is really a very pitiful condition, and this has prompted a Rotary Club to begin thinking of doing something in response to this. We have not done anything so far, but is in the pipeline, doing an anti-jiggers campaign for children in the communities. Next slide, John. Oh, this is still me at the special school. Next slide. This is me. I was dropping my son to school just after the corona pandemic. Schools had been closed for almost a whole year. There was no learning. When it resumed this year, that is me just riding a motorcycle, dropping him to school to get a glimpse of my family. Next slide, please. This and the next slide are connected. This is our Rotary Club. We were visiting on this day. We were visiting a government officer to discuss a collaborative project because during the lockdown, when schools were not on, a lot of girls under the age of 15, were impregnated. So the government thought of coming up with a program to mitigate premarital sex and the resultant pregnancy among our girls. So we are invited as a Rotary Club to discuss this as a project that we are developing in a collaboration with the government officer or the local government. The next slide is also related to that. Next slide, John. Oh, sorry. This is a Next slide, please. Is that the very last one, John?
Yes, this is the last. This is the last.
Oh, this is the last one. Okay. Okay. So this is an invoice from a shop that sells digital and electronic gadgets here in the country. At one time, our club was thinking about buying laptops that we can use to do Zoom meetings. Because our club is also buying into the idea of bringing in guest speakers from around the world to share the experience and their work with us. So we had in mind to buy a laptop that our club members can use to do Zoom meetings. So this was an invoice that was sent to us some time back. So as I wrap it up, I know John was interested in hearing about the conservancy, the wildlife that is around Mount Elgon. Mount Elgon is one of the 5 water towers and conservancies that are in the country, and it has a lot of wildlife. It has lions, it has giraffes, zebras, and also elephants. For those ones who like hiking the mountain and sightseeing, it will be very adventurous for you to visit and see this part of the country. Good. Maybe I should stop there and give room for if there's any area that needs some clarification. Any questions? Maybe I turn it back to you, John.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I just pulled up some photos here of Mount Elgon. I don't know if you can see on your screen, but I'm just going through a few.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Davidson, is that you up on top of the mountain?
Wow.
Good, you've been climbing.
No, I've not gone that far, that high, yeah? Yes, that is Mount Elgon. Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing these pictures, John.
You're welcome. Thanks for the presentation. So, so your Rotary Club is near Mount Elgon. Is it the Mount Elgon Rotary Club?
Yes, right. Yes.
Very good. And can I ask, how many members do you have?
Our club has 15 members currently.
15, 1-5?
Yes, 1-5.
Yes, that's the same as our club. So we're very similar clubs. Can I ask how much do you charge for dues in Kenya? What's an acceptable amount that people can afford, and that Rotary? How does Rotary work with dues?
We have 3 kinds of dues in Kenya. We have the RI dues that we send to Rotary International that amounts to about $100 in a year, equivalent to $100 in a year. Then we have a district. Our district are the Kantia, Eritrea, and Southern Sudan. Those 4 countries form the District 9212. So we have also district dues that we pay that amounts to about $50 in a year. Then we have country dues now, just for the country Kenya, which is about $10 in a year.
Oh, okay.
So,
and how many Rotary clubs are there in all of Kenya?
Kenya, we have about 80 clubs, 80. 80.
80. That's great.
Yes. And if you lump it together with the whole district, including the other neighboring countries, they come to about 150 clubs.
Oh, that's great. Wow. In the United States, it's common to have district conferences where all of the clubs from the district come together once a year for, a meeting in person. Of course, not with COVID, but before. Is there something similar in your area for the entire district? Do you get together with other clubs?
Yes, we do that. It's normally every April. We call it the district conference.
Yeah.
Where that is the time that the new district governor takes office.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's great. And did you do that virtually this year or in person?
No, this year, the last year and this year it has been virtual.
Virtual, okay.
For next year, they are planning for a face-to-face gathering.
Okay, thank you. What do others have questions? And if you do, you can take yourself off of mute. Sandy?
Yes, I have a question, Davidson. You were talking about your roads, and I saw a lot of people walking, and I saw you with your son on a motorbike. I'm wondering, what are the forms of transportation in the area?
Yeah, motorbike is a major one because we have more motorbikes than any other motor machines here. We also have a few people with the vehicles, motor vehicles, like vans, and we also have buses that transport people from one city to the other. And when I was growing up a few years ago, there was also train for public transport, which kind of evaded over the last 20 years or so. But the current government is trying to revive that. So we are coming up with the railway transport.
Thanks, Davidson. Chris Ann?
Davidson, I wanted to ask you about COVID and vaccines and just how that's going in your country. Are vaccines available to you now?
Yes, vaccines are available. We have about three different variations that are now in the Kenya. The major one, AstraZeneca, if I pronounce the word correctly.
Yeah, AstraZeneca.
Yes, so yes, AstraZeneca. So a great percentage of our population, especially the professionals, the frontline workers like the nurses, medical officers, policemen, the military, those ones who are given priority to undergo free and compulsory vaccination, especially teachers. If you're not vaccinated, you're not allowed anywhere near a classroom. For us, including myself, who are on the loose end, we were a bit skeptical because there's been a lot of information on media about the side effects of the jab. Personally, I have not gone to take it yet. I'm waiting to see what becomes of the others. Of late, there has been a rumor on social media that those who are injected, they will die within 2 years.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
I hope it's not true.
I haven't heard that. So you've got AstraZeneca, and what are the other two?
Mm-hmm. The other two are what? AstraZeneca is the common one. The others, the names slip off my memory a little bit.
Is it the Russian one? Sputnik? And I know China. I work with other countries too, and I know Russia, the Russian vaccine is in it's in 70 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The ones that have come from China.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So you're taking your time deciding. It's you've heard stories. I can tell you I had no problem and I'm so alive. So it was good for me.
Thanks, Chrisanne. Karan?
Davidson, could you tell us more about your family? Your handsome son off to school that day with you. Tell us a little bit about your family, where your son attends school, and what his dreams are for the future.
Yeah, you got me off guard. And that is the great weakness with us here in Africa. We rarely talk about our families. Actually, that is it. I'm married. I have 4 sons and 2 daughters. So yes, my elder son my 2 elder sons are in college. One the elder one is studying, is 21 years old now. He's studying to be an accountant. And the one who follows him is studying just and he joined university studying computer science to be one that you saw on the motorcycle with me is my 32nd year of high school. So he has 2 more years left to join university. Then I have 2 other smaller ones, 3 in fact. I don't know. In the countryside, we grow our own food, though our farm is a bit small. My wife is a housewife. She helps with the work at home and takes care of our chicken and a cow. Mm-hmm. So my sons, the ones in high school, attend a boarding school. They have to stay in school. The ones in elementary school attend a day school where they walk about 3 kilometers back and forth.
And are the schools, is the secondary school that your son attends, is that through the state? Is it state provided education, or does he attend private school?
No, it's a state, it's a government school.
I see.
The government school where the government deploys teachers, though parents where we pay fees.
Yes. And so did he have to pass examinations in order to be accepted at that school?
Right. You in Kenya, you have to do eight years of primary school or elementary school. Then you go for 4 years of high school. Then again, you do 4 years of university. So he had to do he was done with 8 years of primary before joining high school.
May I ask about your city? How large is your city, and what is the economy based on in your city?
Ours is a rural setup. We have a small suburb. It's not a city actually. With inhabitants, it's about maximum of about 1,000 inhabitants, within a radius of about 3 kilometers. Yeah, 3 kilometers radius. And the main economic undertaking, we have people who are small scale traders. They sell they do retail shops. they sell grocery at the market. Some also bring their foodstuff. They bring foodstuff from their homes and bring and sell to the market. And a few are teachers. Or nurses.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Karan. Do others have? I had a question, Davidson. If anyone would like to donate to your club to help some of the children at the school, I was really kind of taken by that. How would we do that? Is it possible to make a donation?
Yes, it's possible. Our club has a 5013 status. It is registered as a non-profit. Second, also my NGO, I run an NGO, the non-profit. We have a legal status. I have a personal PayPal account, but the PayPal is on my personal name. PayPal makes it easier for people to do quick funds wires.
Yes, it's very easy.
Yeah, but if you have to send to a Rotary Club, then it has to go through, it has to be bank to bank or account to account, which you have to use Swift code, and it can take up to maybe a week or 2 weeks. So I can share those details maybe via email. You are right, John, because we have children in my neighborhood who have no shoes. They go to school on bare feet. They are in Kenya. Children going to school they have official school uniform. We were colonized by Britain, so we have that mentality. When children go to school, they have to be in school wear officially. When I went to Europe, I saw it was different. A child goes to school in the same clothes that he puts on at home. That was a bit different from what we are used to here in Kenya. Sorry. So the children, as I said, who need shoes, who need clothing. Some schools also in my neighborhood have come up with a feeding program where they want to offer their students a meal during lunchtime, and that the parents have to provide foodstuff that is prepared there. So if a parent does not bring foodstuff, then the child misses lunch that day. So these are areas we think of supplementing and helping in practical ways.
Davidson, does your NGO have a website, or do you have the PayPal link? If you can send it to me, I can send it to our group.
Mm-hmm. Our NGO the was run down because we could not raise them. You have to pay yearly hosting charges, and a Facebook account, which I can gladly share so that you can see also on Facebook all our pictures of our projects and our undertakings, our dreams. And as we just wrap it up, John, currently what our NGO is doing, lanterns or solar lamps, and distribute to homesteads that do not have electricity. A lot of homes here do not have electricity, including my own home. So I use a portable solar lantern for lighting. My children can study, can do their homework under the light of that solar lantern. And in my neighborhood, so I buy those solar lanterns and I share with my neighborhoods, with my neighbors. So that's something we are building on. We did 3 months ago, we did about 70 lanterns. So 70 families benefited, and the need and the demand is actually great. It overwhelms our ability.
Okay, thank you. I think I found, let's see here. Mount Elgon Peace Initiative.
Right, that is it.
Davidson, how much does one of those solar lanterns cost?
It's about $50.
50,
50
five
American.
zero, 50,
Yeah,
or
50, right?
50?
Yes. Mhm.
And Davidson, thank you for your talk. This is Stephanie. How many homes of your 1,000 have a solar light?
About 100 homes. About 100 have lights. Maybe about 50 have electricity, like teachers and nurses who have an income they can pay for electricity. Where in the government, when you request for electricity, you pay before they install it for you. If you don't pay, they don't connect it for you. So those who are on a regular income, like teachers, nurses, doctors, can pay for electricity. About 50 of them. Then about 100 that we have helped to install it, solar for. The others are in the dark. They use kerosene lamps, which have hazards.
That's right. That's right. So, was I correct in saying there are 1,000 homes approximately?
Right. Yes.
So about 800 homes are dark.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for that. And Davidson, can you talk just for a moment about that young boy in your photograph that had the jiggers? Can you explain what that is? Is there treatment for that?
Yeah. What the treatment for that will be? There is a chemical that he has to soak his hands in every evening and every morning that will kill the jiggers. Then secondly, also the environment that he lives in, like the beddings he sleeps on, has to be kept clean. It has to be disinfected first, then has to be thorough washing. So the tragedy is
Davidson, if you can hear me, what you're saying is so important and it continues to cut out. I'm wondering if you would mind turning your video back off so we could hear it.
We'll give him a second to catch up. I think it's when we send something to him and it slows down the video on our end. He maybe just dropped off. We'll see if he pops back on. Yeah, it'd be interesting if he had a website that had a lot of this information.
I was looking for one, Kirk, and I found a website, but it wasn't, it was just sort of the beginning part of one. He has a LinkedIn page and another page, but maybe there's a direct link that he could send to us.
Right.
Chrisanne, are you the one that has been corresponding with Davidson, or?
Yeah, it's been me.
So maybe, if you could get the information.
For sure. Yeah. John and I have been together. It's been the three of us talking, for
this
sure.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much, both of you, for doing this.
Well, he visited us a couple months ago and then said, I could tell you about my club. So it was really great. I think he came to us after that article in the Rotarian magazine.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see other clubs, especially in communities that are impoverished, because they tend, when you see these clubs in other nations, whether it's in Latin America or in Africa, they tend to dress really professionally and have like the full banners that Rotary sponsors, and then just the way that they talk about things is very attuned to Rotary International, where I think in my experience with clubs, we dumb it down a little bit, and we don't, like he talked about classifications and things. Those are all very Rotary vocabulary.
Yeah. Yes.
And I haven't heard anybody talk like that in a while. So seeing the banner, and it was kind of neat that they were obviously very attuned to the Rotary way.
Mm-hmm.
I also found it pretty interesting that the dues seem to be exactly the same. No discount on the dues whatsoever. If it's 100 to RI and 50 to the district, and plus they have the country fee, which is astounding to me because whatever the annual salary would be in some of the African nations, it's crazy that the dues are the same. I just figured they would be greatly reduced in a lot of the world by Rotary, by RI, but
right.
I found that really curious.
Yeah, so did I.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that brings up questions of, because for example, in Senegal, I never found a Rotary club, and there was one that had been active in the capital city, but then had folded, and they had a really hard time finding members. And I wonder what of that, it was a Francophone country, so that might be part of it. If like in Kenya, if it had been started by somebody from another country who was very passionate about it, I don't know if anybody, I would imagine that the first club would be started from somebody from another country potentially, but I wonder if part of it was the cost, and they, because the cost is a big difference, when it's potentially the same as your rent or something else, or food for your family.
Right.
And yet maybe, as in a lot of examples in the US or around the world, Rotary really connects you with business. So, maybe it really is a way of someone in a smaller like him with an NGO or something to really help get the word out and whatnot. But seems like he's doing great work. I put a link in the chat just with this. I think it must be them, Mount Elgon Peace Initiative. He's not mentioned by name though, and when I go to that website that's listed there, it is an NGO. So yeah, we can get a link, but I would personally love to donate something to see if we can go in for a solar light or a couple of them or something. So if anyone's interested, just let me know.
Right.
And
we're interested in that, John.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. We're at 5:33 here, so not sure if Davidson's going to come back, but let's hit the Rotary four-way test here. So four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth?
The truth? Is it fair
to all
concerned?
Will it
build goodwill,
better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thanks everybody for a great meeting. I hope you have a wonderful night. Yeah, we'll be in contact with Davidson. Really wish the connection had been better, but hey, it's Kenya and it's midnight. And you know what? I'm glad we got to hear from him. And I think turning the video off, Sandy, really did help quite a bit. So thanks for that suggestion. Elke, call out to you for taking our pollinator budget in hand. And
oh yeah, yep, that's on my list this weekend. Happy to do it.
We were criticized for having too complicated a budget, and they sent over a great example from the district's point of view, and yeah, we need to greatly simplify, so we should be able to do that.
But we also came up with some really good ideas about, like, for example, seeing if we could source seed packets where we could customize the printing, and then we don't need to like make anything ourselves or like stick on labels or anything. Like we could just, we don't need to make our own seed packets with bulk seeds. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we had talked at one time about, getting the seed packets printed and then somehow buying the seeds in bulk and then somehow, putting a teaspoon of seeds in every packet and sealing them and all the rest of it, you know, and turns out there's companies that do all that for you. No problem. All right, well, we'll see everybody next week for the Mississippi River presentation. And thanks again for everything all of you guys do. Kirk, thanks. I just don't call you out often enough for handling all the technology end of things. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, sounds good. I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.